Whatever you share, especially within the next 24 hours, will help you learn, remember, and use what you found most useful about succeeding in a changing situation. A company or family changes only when enough people in it change. Within the next 24 hours, think of 2 people with whom you can share what you have learned. Doing so may help someone else change and win. Share the story of change with people you work with. Use the cheese language to help them sniff out change, scurry into action, stop hemming and hawing, and start enjoying new cheese. Here's a story about personnel change at Textron in Georgia. The president of a turbine engine component company gave the cheese book to everyone who worked with him. Before long, they all saved time and had fun using the cheese language as they talked with each other about all the changes going on in their company. Before they knew the cheese story, whenever personnel changed, especially if it was the loss of one of their best people, they would spend a long time worrying and talking about how they were going to replace that person. A lot of the time and energy was wasted, and it was very stressful. After they all knew the cheese story and were able to kid each other about who they were in the story, whether they were sniff or scurry or hem and haw, they noticed a real improvement in the organization. When their executive vice president left to become president of another division, people began to lament about it. Who were they going to get to replace him? Partway through the department meeting called to deal with the change, one person said, "Hey, they just moved our cheese. Let's find some new cheese." Many of them laughed, and they were all able to move on quickly. As their president said, "What would have taken us weeks before has taken us very little time. We were able to change quickly and now are enjoying it." Sharing cheese at work creates a change-friendly culture. It helps people adjust quickly. Let go of old cheese sooner and move on to find new cheese in a rapidly changing world. Encouraging others to embrace change and find new cheese helps them to sniff out the competition, scurry on to the next project, and don't get hemmed in and left behind. It teaches people to laugh at their fear and go on to find new cheese. You can also share some cheese at home. Tell the cheese story to your family. Discuss who they think they are. Sniff, scurry, hem, or haw. Ask each other what your family's old cheese is and what the new cheese could be. Here's an example of dealing with change using what we've learned. A family in Los Angeles was facing a challenge when the father was offered a better position, but it moved him to New York. The children didn't want to leave their school friends, so he was about to turn the offer down. Then he read Who Moved My Cheese? And asked them to decide which character they thought he was and who they were in the story. Then he asked what their family's old cheese was and what their new cheese could be. Later on, he was amazed when, dropping off his daughter at school, she ran back to his car and knocked on the window. When he lowered it, he heard her say, "Daddy, I hope our family's new cheese is at Cheese Station NY." He realized she meant New York. The children had been telling the cheese story at school, and the other kids encouraged them to go for new cheese. Their new cheese meant going to a new place and enjoying it. Sharing the cheese story may also help bring your family closer together. Parents can become role models for change, and children can see the benefits of changing early in life. The family can have fun finding and enjoying new cheese together. Have smell the cheese meetings often. Schedule regular department or family meetings and ask yourselves, click to the next slide, what old cheese are we holding on to? What could our new cheese be? What would we do if we weren't afraid? How will we feel when we find our new cheese? How can we do things differently to find our new cheese? How do you feel now about the change that you or others are dealing with in your work or life? What are you going to do differently to succeed? What do you want the outcome to be? It's not the strongest who survive or the most intelligent, but those who are most responsive to change.